Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aina and I am oncology pharmacist. Thank you all for 5,000 subscribers. It really means a lot to me and I appreciate every single one of you. And I thought it'd be really fun to do a Q&A. But to make it even more fun, I was sent this quiz called Drug versus Pokemon. And I thought I could do this quiz while answering the Q&A questions. Okay, so how am I going to do this? I guess I'll answer one Q&A question and do a couple questions from the quiz. Question number 1. Do I still work as a full-time pharmacist? Yes, I do. I currently work full-time as a pharmacist in a cancer hospital. That's 40 hours of work per week and I usually work Monday to Friday. My shift can start anywhere from 7:30 a.m. and ending at 7 p.m. And occasionally I do have to rotate through weekends and on-call shifts as well. Then the rest of my time I spend making videos for you guys. Just to preface this, I've never watched or played Pokemon ever. If you ask me to name a Pokemon, I probably can't. I mean, I can name Pikachu, but that's it. So I might do really horribly on this quiz. Alright, Centret. That sounds like a drug name, doesn't it? Okay, this is harder than I thought because they're using brand names of medications, and in pharmacy school, we usually learn about the generic names. And I feel like the brand names that they're using right here are probably ones from America. We have different brand names in Canada. Okay, all that explanation is probably just to lessen the blow in case I do horribly on this drug quiz as a pharmacist. So I'm gonna say it's D. Oh yes! Wait, is that right or wrong? No, second generation normal? Oh god, that has to do with the Pokemon, doesn't it? And the second question was a follow-up to the first. If so, why did I pick this profession in particular? This is a really good question. I think I've always known I wanted to work in healthcare ever since I was young because my mom works in healthcare. I didn't know which specific profession I wanted to go into. I mean, there are lots of options, right? Like becoming a doctor, dentist, a nurse, physiotherapist. And the deciding moment, I think, was during my English 12 class in high school where these two college students came to my class to do a 10-minute presentation and Q&A session, and guess what specific faculty they were from? That's right, pharmaceutical sciences. These two students were both pharmacy school students, but they were here specifically at my high school to raise awareness of the pharmacy profession, answer any questions that we may have about applying to pharmacy school, etc. And I think that session just planted the seed in my mind, definitely one of the major contributing factors in me deciding to go into pharmacy school. Okay, Voltaren I know for sure is a drug. The generic name is called diclofenac. It's a NSAID. It's used for anti-inflammatory pain, so that's drug for sure. There we go, yes, diclofenac. Gliscor? Sound like it's a drug again? What the heck? All of these names sound like they're drugs. But it also could be Pokemon. Okay, I'm gonna say Pokemon. Yes, it's a 4th generation ground flying. What does that even mean? What's ground flying? Like they can both run on the ground and fly? Is that what it means? Alright, question 3. Do I have any hobbies? I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit this, but I'm actually in a movie club. This is probably sounding extremely nerdy, but what it really is just a few of the colleagues I have from work. We all love watching movies and we love talking about movies, and we came together and formed a little film club. The movie club is called
Connoisseur du film.
We would take turns picking movies that none of us have seen, and we would go home and watch it on our own, but then come back and discuss it during our lunch breaks. Some of my favorite movies that I saw this year, not necessarily a part of the movie club, are the first Slam Dunk, which was released in Japan I think a couple years ago, but I missed the theatrical release in North America. I waited over a year and a half and I finally saw the re-release in theaters in my local theater, and I was so happy to be able to get the opportunity to see it in theaters. The Iron Claw, it's a movie about a wrestling family that goes through so much ups and downs that it's oftentimes so gut-wrenching to watch, but it has one of the most beautiful and bittersweet endings in movies that I've seen in a while. We Need to Talk About Kevin might be the most fucked up movie I saw this year. Wait, actually that's a lie. I also saw The Lighthouse this year. And of course, Dune Part 2. My other big hobby though is playing the piano. Probably not a lot of you know this, but I actually have a second channel where I upload myself playing the piano and music related content. I'm planning to upload more stuff about my life on that channel later, so if you're interested, please consider subscribing to that channel as well. Melodic? There's no way that's a Pokemon name, right? Like something that ends with TIC, that's gotta be a drug. No? 3rd generation water? Oh my god. Favorite YouTube channels? Oh my god, there are just too many. I guess science and engineering related, I really like William Osman, Michael Reeves, stuff made here. Medical related, I really love this channel called Dr. Glaucomflecken. It's made by an ophthalmologist. Music related, I like two-step violin, Animans, Nare Soul, Heart of Keys, Charles Cornell. Movie related, I like Nerd Writer, The Critical Drinker. I also watch fashion, beauty, vlog, cooking. I mean, YouTube is my primary source of entertainment. I spend so much time on YouTube and I love this community so much. Oh, and I recently discovered this channel that has inspired me beyond imagination. Honestly, every single video this guy posts feels like I'm watching a mini movie. The channel name is called Gawk's Art, and I'm always down to discovering new channels and new creators, so if you have any recommendations, please let me know in the comment section. Decadron? Dexamethasone. Oh yes, yes, Qvar. It's a drug, I know, it's an inhaler. Yes, okay, we're starting to do a lot better here. Okay, this is a question from my comment section. The number one type of comments that I get here are the ones talking about the American healthcare system. I have Americans that are trashing on the system and talking about how expensive everything is, and non-Americans that are so curious as to how anyone can live in a country that is so expensive. And as a non-American, I'm in the exact same boat. I'm dying to know how on earth people can afford such ridiculous prices, how much everything actually costs, but there's just no way I'm going to go all the way to America just to... Are we in frame? Oh my gosh, I'm actually really awkward. This is Jenny, she's a pharmacist that works in the States. A lot of my viewers either complain about the US drug price or they're really curious about how expensive drugs are here. On a scale of 1 to 10, how expensive do you think drug prices are here?
Depending on what it is, but for brand name medications, definitely a 10. I think it's probably the most expensive in the world.
Okay, so like what's a really expensive brand name medication?
Some inhalers like Advair, Symbicort even, they can go for 600 something.
What the heck? What if some people can't afford it? What do they do?
For people who don't qualify for Medicaid and they don't have a job that covers them privately, then it could get very expensive. The medication I can think of is EpiPen.
Oh yeah, EpiPen. Like if you can't afford EpiPen, you could actually die.
Yeah, I have seen a mom not be able to pick up her child's EpiPen. That was extremely frustrating.
Next question, why did I become a pharmacist in Canada and why oncology? Well, I became a pharmacist in Canada because I am Canadian. I was lucky enough to go to a local school. I know a lot of people that have to travel really far away for schooling, and that takes a lot of commitment and effort, so kudos to all of you that did that. I know it's definitely not easy, and after graduating, I got my license to practice in Canada. I do have a few friends that are Canadian and then eventually got their license to practice in America. The process is actually really difficult though, so I think only those who are super smart and super dedicated can probably achieve such a thing. I haven't tried that yet, but maybe one day. And why oncology? Oncology is definitely a space that is growing in medicine. The stats are actually insane when I first heard them. Something like 1 in 2 women and 1 in 3 men will have cancer in their lifetime. Like that just blows my mind. So it's definitely an area that needs a lot of healthcare professionals. It's also a specialty area that I didn't really get to see when I was working as a community pharmacist, and that means working at a retail store. So I guess the search for knowledge compelled me to get into oncology, I guess. Marowak? That does not sound like a drug name. I'm gonna guess Pokemon? Yes. First generation ground. Favorite show? Ooh, okay. Some of the recent ones I can think of are The 3 Body Problem, Masters of Air, and of course, Arcane. I'm so excited for season 2. Numel. Why is this so hard? Numel. I'm gonna guess Pokemon? Yes. Third generation fire ground. Glaceon. That sounds like a Pokemon. Sounds like something that can spit out ice or something. Yes, 4th generation ice. Next question, what got me making YouTube videos in the first place? Great question. I think I touched on this in a previous answer already, but I love the YouTube community. I am a heavy YouTube consumer. Most of my entertainment comes from YouTube, I would say. And I just get so inspired by all the content creators, and I've always wondered what it would be like to become one myself. And I'm the type of person that if I really want to do something, I have to go ahead and do it. Otherwise, it would just eat me alive. So I basically started this channel as a New Year's resolution in 2024. Okay, Zegris. That sounds like a drug. There are a lot of brands that like to start with the letter X. Like there's an eye drop in Canada called Zedra. So Zegris, maybe it's a drug? I'm gonna guess drug. Oh yes. Oh, this is an easy one. Crestor. Yes, we dispense this all the time. It's for high cholesterol. It's a drug. Yes, rosuvastatin. You saved me. Long-term goal on YouTube. Oh god, I have this insane and really unrealistic dream. I don't even think I should be talking about it, but oh well, I don't think it's ever gonna happen. But I think it'd be really cool if one day I can host my own charity event for my local cancer foundation. I think that might be my ultimate YouTube dream. Maybe I got inspired by Connor's charity event. This goal just seems too impossible. I think for now, I just want to keep making content that I enjoy talking about and that you guys enjoy watching as well. Carnotaur? Sounds like a Pokemon, like a carnivore, you know? No? Levocarnitine dietary supplement. Why is this game so hard? Groudon. There's no way that's a drug name, right? Yes, 3rd generation ground. The next common type of question I get are talking about my editor. There is no my editor. It's just me. I write, film, and edit everything myself. So if some of the editing is weird, we can't blame anyone else, okay? I take full responsibility of that. Actose, I know for a fact that's a drug. It's used for diabetes. Yes. Okay, Vaporeon. Ooh, the E-O-N ending. Vaporeon? Vaporeon? I'm gonna guess Pokemon. Yes, 1st generation water. And I get a lot of comments asking me about my background music. There are people who say I use background music that VTubers use a lot. I didn't know that until some of you commented, but I'm really happy to find that out. Aeon, I'm gonna go with Pokemon. Okay, all the E-O-N endings, I'm just gonna guess Pokemon. No, Perindopril for high blood pressure? Okay. In my defense, in Canada, that's not the brand name for Perindopril. In Canada, the brand is called Coversil. What's my favorite part of being a pharmacist? Well, my favorite part is phoning up a doctor and calling them out on a dangerously wrong script that they wrote and hearing their panic over the phone. Well, I'm just kidding, I'm not that cynical. I think my favorite part is probably being able to advise on the dosing of a super complicated treatment regimen based on the patient's kidney function, liver function, drug interactions, and everything else, and just coming up with a super individualized treatment plan. That's always super satisfying, and I feel like I've really made a difference in a patient's care. Ursaring. Ursaring? That sounds like a Pokemon. Yes, 2nd generation normal. Umbreon. Another E-O-N ending. You know what I'm gonna go for, right? Yes, 2nd generation dark. What would I study if I didn't get into pharmacy school? Well, my dream job is probably something to do with music. I'm definitely not skilled enough to become a soloist, so maybe like a accompanist or a piano teacher, or maybe like a music production assistant. But honestly, I have very little talent in music, so none of those probably would work anyway. If I didn't get into pharmacy school, I'd probably try a different healthcare related profession. Jalen is a drug. See, all the ones that we do have in Canada, I would get them right. Rescriptor. Alright, that sounds too suspiciously like a drug name because anything to do with script, we think of prescription, we think of drug. Did they put that in there to throw me off? Yes, it's another HIV drug. Next question from a comment. I'm doing a bachelor's degree in pharmacy. What area of master's should I choose to work in as an interesting field? That's a great question, and I think my answer applies to any professions out there. My advice is to get as much part-time work experience in your specific field while you are still a student as much as you can, because I think that's how you can figure out what specific niche in your field you're interested in. For example, when I used to work in community pharmacy, I had a lot of diabetic patients and geriatric patients, that means the older population, and through working with these two populations, I became really interested in these two specific niches. Next one, are you a research scientist? Which pharmaceutical company do you work for? I am not. I work frontline in a hospital as a pharmacist, but I do have some pharmacist friends that work in a pharmaceutical company, and I always imagine those jobs to be so cool. Like you get to make cool PowerPoint presentations, you get to meet different stakeholders, you get to work for a prestigious big company. I've never had a cool job like that, so I'm always super intrigued to know what it's like. Oh no, I got 63% and the average score is 70%. No, what have I done? Well, I knew I was gonna suck at this because I don't know any Pokemon names. My only knowledge is from drugs, and some of them are not Canadian drugs, so I can't believe this. I don't deserve to be a pharmacist. That's it for today's video, you guys. Thank you for all of those who asked me questions. If you have any more, please leave them in the comment section down below or follow me on Twitter and message me there. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!